Okay, what we're looking at is a Dendy clone, which is very similar to a Sabor D99. The only real difference is it's got a different connector up the front, and it actually has a fairly solid looking audio visual board with a whole heap of components on there, so hopefully the sound is a little bit better. Of course, it's got the old black goop NES on a chip thing. Of course, being a Dendy, it's Russian. So this one in particular is a Pal-D. I'm attempting to convert it to be NTSC for a customer. I've never done one before, but again, it's very similar to the Sabor D99, which I've done before. So of course the first thing I've done is again ripped apart the good old Russian power supply. Hopefully the specs are right. According to this, it's got to be 9 volt 8500 milliamps. Interestingly enough, this power supply was a 50 megahertz, 60 megahertz switching one, but of course the AC was 220 to 240, which is not going to work in the US. So I have made myself a nice little power supply. Pay no attention to the tip because the tip is wrong on this. I had to rewire it. Not quite the same. It's a little bit less milliamps. It's still 9 volts. It should work. I've noticed on the Sabors the things get very hot if you put too much amperage through them. So sometimes the boards lie. Of course, I've already replaced the crystal, the old one, which looks like this thing. The old one was what, a 26.601, and the new one here is a 21.477. And now, of course, also when you convert these little babies over, there is jumpers on the back of the board that if you don't switch over, they don't work. Let's see whether I can zoom in on this. Probably not. I'm trying my best. Anyway, there are 3 jumpers here. On this particular one, the first jumper here has to be soldered across or the thing doesn't work. Now, when I first got this thing, the sound was completely and utterly horrendous and muffled, simply because there was a wire broken over here that I've now fixed, so the sound is good. The big problem I've got now is the board, when I plug it in, is rolling, and I've been sitting here scratching my head for like the last hour or so going, what the heck is going on here? And eventually I've done a little bit of looking, and the capacitors here and here, I think this capacitor is wrong. According to the board, this one should be a 1 UF, and this one should be a 10 UF. There should be 16 volts, which again, you're running only 9 volts through it, so you can go whatever. But this one here is a 1 UF, so I think that's why it's rolling. So tomorrow I'm going to replace this with a 10 UF. I can't find my box of capacitors, so I can't replace this one to figure it out. But I think this is causing it. I think the little Chinese guy that was soldering this thing together, he just grabbed from the wrong box and soldered in the same capacitor. So hopefully replacing this one will fix the problem, and we will have a working clone. Oh, well, at least a working clone that is going to play our good old Famiclone games for an NTSC TV, even though it was designed only for a PAL system. So if you've got any queries or questions, let me know. Catch you later.